Today is the 8th of October in year 8, and today the Bureau of Planning was announced to take care of a lot of the bureaucratic side of running a space empire, and the first bureau set up today was the Bureau of Colonization and Expansion. They would control the short-term goals, the long-term plans, the primary goals, the secondary goals, and overall guide the strategy of the council when it comes to colonizing the solar system. And the priority at this stage was to colonize Mars. The source of uranium on Mars is just huge. So with that in mind, a colony has been penciled in to be placed upon the planet. So far, the Homer hasn't gone too far into the solar system, surveying only a handful of planets, but so far its journey has been fruitful. Certainly finding the resources on Mars is a great thing for the Council and for mankind. Securing such a supply of uranium will stand the humans in very good stead. With 200 infrastructure ready to go, the priority becomes building a freighter. The Wayfarer class freighter, still in its design phase. Using the Oliver Hooper 125 commercial nuclear thermal engines. During the design phase, it became a little bit apparent that larger fuel storages would probably be nice for this particular design. The existing fuel storage is relatively tiny for such a large freighter. A range of 31.5 billion kilometers was decided that it's not quite big enough, but it will have to do for the first iteration of the Wayfarer class freighter. And thus the design was laid down. At 32,500 tons, the design was finalised, with a maximum theoretical speed of 384 kilometers per second. The ship is rather slow, especially when compared to the Greyhound that is the GEV Homer, the geological survey vessel. However, it will carry 25,000 tons, potentially load in 10 hours before moving on to the next spot. With the design finalised, the next issue would be then to actually have a shipyard capable of building it. And at this stage, the Fox Marine Group would have to undergo several expansions to their shipyard to be able to create this gargantuan freighter that the Design Council has put forth. On the 8th of November, the mines were finally transferred over from conventional to specialised Trans-Newtonian mining. So now having 1,000 construction factories and 500 mines, the industry turned their attention to the commercial shipyard and also building some infrastructure ready for the freighter that would be coming up in a few years' time. Research was going along smoothly. With still some time left on most major research projects. The only major, well, there was two issues of concern. It was raised in a recent council meeting that so far there was nobody that specialised in power and propulsion or construction and production. So potentially the council identified that maybe they were falling behind in some areas. On the 8th of December, Year 8, the commercial shipyard, the second commercial shipyard, was created. Inaugurated as the Owen Company. They would provide slipway capacity for a potential colony vessel. Immediately, the Owen Company was asked to expand their slipway capacity, and the Design Bureau got straight to work. Designing the Prince Consort class colony ship. The aim of the Design Bureau was to level out some of the different options. With 642 km per second as the theoretical speed to begin with, more fuel was added to the design to expand the range of the ship. Indeed, the design was rounded up to 20,000 tons to give it excellent range, 61 billion kilometers, potential cryogenic bursts of 50,000, a load and unload time of about 10 hours, and a theoretical max speed of 625 kilometers per second. So 20,000 tons would need to be added or created at the Owen Company shipyard to be able to build the Prince Consort class colony ship. On the 8th of February in Year 9, some of the industrial projects were finished up, leaving only the fuel refineries to go. The fuel refineries would be important to begin refining some of the large stockpile of thorium that had been created over the last couple of years. The industry had been stopped from creating too much fuel and too much of a backlog after they ran short in the first couple of months. It was a very, very heavy debate as to where the industry would be assigned next. It was agreed upon that a spaceport would be a potentially good idea to grab next. A military academy was mentioned to increase the number of graduates, especially looking to find some more scientists in the power and propulsion and construction and logistics areas. But consensus was hard to find, and the matter was adjourned for the moment. Perhaps there was an answer coming up shortly. With the conversion over to Trans-Newtonian construction factories, though, construction was going very quickly indeed. And the spaceport would be finished within roughly a month. The spaceport would just improve the speed at which ships are loaded and unloaded on Earth. On the 8th of June, Year 9, Isabel Cooper finished up some research into the active grav sensor and moved on to thermal sensors. The Hale Container Limited was a potential shipyard that was looking to get off the ground, and for the moment they were encouraged yet ignored. Maybe one day their time would come. The Homer, whilst bouncing around the solar system, had yet to find any more large concentrations of resources. Coming out mostly empty with regards to new places. A comet by the name of Whipple was identified as having a decent amount of corundium and also boronite, so it was earmarked as a potential colony for later down the track. And on the 8th of July, Year 9, the spaceport was completed. And the question became, what is built next? It was decided that a couple of terraforming installations would be a good idea, but the idea was shot down, arguing that it was a large investment of resources that potentially wouldn't be realised for the moment, especially with Mars still requiring large amounts of infrastructure to support the population on the planet's surface. So some mass drivers were created instead, along with some more mines. And general industry was asked to replicate and create more construction factories. It would take them approximately about a year to double the amount of construction factories available. However, it was viewed that this was a long-term project, and gradually increasing the baseline production rate of the Earth planet would be a good thing. With a lot of research down the laser pathway research, Sophia was asked to begin to tidy up a few of the outstanding ideas that were floating around the scientific community. Some of the more simple concepts around energy weapons. So she would be looking into a microwave, a carronade, and also some particle beams to really round out the collective knowledge that was available regarding energy weapons. The mass drivers were also completed, freeing up a large amount of space for some mines to be created. And the mines, it was planned that a lot of the mines would be shifted to Mars eventually to allow for the utilization of the large uranium supplies that were there. So they were built at this time to be prepared for that eventuality. It was also decided that the Hale Container Limited company would benefit from a subsidy, bringing their wealth up to 5,000 and hopefully assisting their creation of a civilian space presence. The scientific community had asked the council several months ago to consider adding more research labs to the list of potential industry projects, and it was finally decided that after the mines were completed, 10 more research labs would be created for that, for the scientific community to further boost research rates. On the 8th of November, Year 9, the Fox Marine Group added enough capacity to their shipyard to begin retooling to the Prince Consort class colony ship. Once that was completed, they began building the first Consort class colony ship, ready to shift some brave settlers across to the planet of Mars.